Mexico's newest theme park is making its grand debut in 2026, and we just learned a whole lot of new information about Vidanta World's BON, Beauty of Nature, coming to Puerto Vallarta. This is part of a luxury resort that already exists that you can visit right now in Puerto Vallarta, and they're building their own luxury theme park. That's the term and phrasing that they keep using, is luxury theme park.
Yeah, so it seems like they kind of want to make everything a relaxing, like, carefree experience for, like, the entire family. So you go to, like, Disney, let's say, and a lot of times it's, like, kind of stressful for the parents.
Oh, yeah.
So their whole idea is, like, how do we take that concept and, like, remove the stress from the parents and make it, like, from the moment you get there to the moment you leave, like, you're being waited on, like, and taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're really marketing this as a family destination. There will be 23 rides, 25 restaurants and lounges, and 16 retail shops and kiosks. And these renderings are just stunning. Like, this is gonna be a fully themed park. It honestly reminds me a lot of, like, Lost Island when we were hearing about that park. Like, this is a full cohesive experience.
Yes, I just hope it pulls better numbers than Lost Island, which it already has, like, a name for itself because, like you said, it is a luxury resort. So, like, it's, like, building on that instead of starting from scratch.
Yes.
Which I think will help them a lot. And, like you said, it's a very popular destination as opposed to, like, Waterloo.
Yeah.
But it has, like, a similar, I guess, like, aesthetic, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But it looks like they're trying to take it to, like, a Europa Park level. But if, like, instead of Europa Park being all parks in Europe, it was, like, all, like, Mexico influence.
Yeah. I mean, you can see just the architectural designs they've gone through here. And it's actually worth mentioning that what you are currently seeing is the dream of, like, what the whole completed park will look like. But they've already started opening up sections of it. If you were to go there right now, you can visit the BON on-site hotel, and there are a couple rides open. So we have 2 intimate attractions. They have a tower drop ride called Floresta Drop, and a Vista wheel, which is one of Intamin's, like, coaster wheels. And there's also, like, a sky ride going about. So this is happening. If there was any question or doubt in your mind, like, this is very real, and it is under construction as we speak.
Yeah, so the entire property takes up about 150 acres, but that's, like, inclusive of everything. So you think, like, the beach, the resort, the golf course, the park, etc. So all of it together is, like, a pretty massive experience. The whole idea is that this is somewhere that you can go and spend several days, like, kind of akin to, like, going to the Disney resort or Universal resort. Like, they want this to be, like, a full vacation experience. And one of the things that they repeated a few times throughout the press conference, they didn't say, like, calling out Disney per se, but I could kind of tell what they were trying to say. Like, you know, we go to Disney afterwards, you're like, oof, I need a vacation, like, from my vacation, because it can be very exhausting. Like, I think they wanted this to be a more relaxing version of a theme park. Like, the whole idea was that they wanted it to be so luxurious and wonderful that, like, the parents suggest it.
Yeah.
Just as much as the kids. You know what I mean? Like, it's, like, their preferred destination as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, we got to attend the actual press conference unveiling of all this announcement at the IAAPA Orlando Expo, and we got to hear from, like, the people who are actually working on this park. And some of the things they had to say were pretty interesting. Take a look.
We were at this convention probably 10 years ago, and we just showed up with a dream. You know, a dream that seemed unreachable. Can we change the future of tourism in Mexico in a way that makes Mexico compete in entertainment at a global scale? Can we create a theme park that celebrates nature? Can we create a different kind of vacation?
At first, when we got a request to design a theme park for Vidanta, we started off with the creative process as usual. And when we were pitching our first rounds, everything got pushed back, and we were really pushed to step up our game. And it's then that we learned that we were actually not designing a theme park as people might know it, or as we might know it. So Vidanta, and especially the BON Park, will be like this perfect blend, as it has been said before, between entertainment, luxury resort, and a theme park, where just being in the theme park itself will be the experience, and all the experiences and attractions there will be on top of that.
This combination of nature, rides, the high service level that Group of Vidanta has with all the resorts, that combination is not yet seen in the world. So I really want to emphasize this point that this is extremely unique.
You see that some of our building designs are inspired by some of our pre-Hispanic culture that is very famous in Mexico. So the opportunity to combine those two with an attraction lends itself to unbelievable IP that you will be seeing.
The beauty here is the combination that we have. So we have sit-down coasters, we have suspended coasters, we have high-thrill coasters, we have an interactive boat ride. So it's going to really cater to the whole family, as Yvonne was saying, and I think that's extremely important, right? And with very unique elements on each of these rides, right? So it can be theming, it can be track tricks, it can be the interactivity, it can be the onboard audio or light, but each one of these rides will have a special element that you don't see anywhere else, So the combination of these rides together with all the other partners that we're working with is really phenomenal.
So let's go through the different areas of Vidanta World BON. And in case you missed it, BON is beauty of nature. We're looking at 3 big areas, and that is Fantasy Gardens, Adventure Alley, and Land of Legends. Not to be confused with Land of Legends in Turkey. Adventure Alley is the main section that is already open, where the Ferris wheel is, as well as the intimate tower drop ride. But Fantasy Gardens is our first area that sounds really, really cool.
With Fantasy Gardens, we will invite you over to and explore a new world, a new side of nature and all of its beauty, where we will get to know a new character, Delia, and her people, the Oryx, are the protectors of nature.
This area of the park is going to be home to 2 different roller coasters. One of them is a family coaster by Vekoma called Azari's Flight.
And you can see just how it's going to have some dark ride sections, animatronics. They are going all out for this. This isn't going to be some just random family coaster.
Well, that's sort of what separates a theme park from an amusement park, right? You can build coasters, which fine, but you have to somehow put them in an environment that is interesting.
Yeah.
And that's how you kind of take that leap from amusement to theme park. And I imagine they're all going to have some kind of spiciness to them to make them better. Dark ride sections and whatnot. The other one is going to be a clone of Arthur at Europa Park, except this one's going to be themed to another character that they've created called Delia.
You can see some of the show scenes in these renderings. It looks really, really cool. So completely custom theme, and I cannot wait to see what they come up with. That is one of the best ride systems that has been developed in these 21st century roller coaster stuff. What Mach came up with is incredible. We love dragon gliders at Motion Gate. Arthur is a favorite. The one that Universal just built at Beijing looks fantastic. I'm so glad that we are getting one in North America. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's just a great storytelling device as far as a roller coaster goes. It's perfect. And then from there, I guess we can move on to the next land, which is the Land of Legends.
Yeah. So this is where we have most of our other big attractions that we're getting. So first up is SOL, which is actually an acronym for Speed of Light.
But also means sun in Spanish.
Yes. This is a Vekoma family suspended coaster. I believe it is a clone of Phoenix at Dino's Wonder Wheel. At least it certainly looks that way. And this is one of those attractions that is currently under construction. Funny enough, when you go on Maps' satellite view, you can literally see the progress that is being made on this park, which is really, really cool.
Keeping with the Vekoma theme, we have another Vekoma coaster. This one is a mine train called Ashara, Goddess of Fire. The concept art is just unbelievable, this massive temple with fire everywhere. It reminds me of the one that we did at Belwarda.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, that one was fun. Or even in the States, Adventure Express, something like that. But that's old school Arrow. This is gonna be a very silky smooth experience. But
probably more theming. It looks like you're indoors and stuff for a lot of it. So
yeah, well, and I love obviously this is a dark setting. It looks like the vehicles will actually light up, which is awesome. That's the kind of stuff I love to see. Mm-hmm. And then from there, we're going to move on to another Vekoma ride. This one is actually a water ride, their first Beat It attraction. And they're literally calling it Beat It, but that is the name of the model. If you remember, they unveiled this at IAAPA a couple of years ago. So essentially you have 2 teams on boats that run parallel to each other, and you beat this drum and it affects your ride experience. Very, very unique. What a perfect attraction to put in at a highly themed resort.
Yeah, it is an odd one though, because when I think luxury, I don't think of a ton of children banging on a drum in my ears, but it is a fun concept. I'm interested to see if it's legitimately like fun to do more than once, or if you do it once and then after that you're like, oh my god, shut up.
Yeah, well, I think the whole point is like you're trying to get the other boat soaked. Or maybe in your case, you're like, no, I want to be the one to get drenched. It is in Mexico. It probably gets pretty hot there.
That's true.
I think that is so, so cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah, I love that we're getting that. And then our final Vekoma ride, this is the big one. This is Tequani Beast, a dual launch coaster by Vekoma. We got to see the train reveal at IAAPA. It is absolutely stunning. This looks to be a contender for the best roller coaster in Mexico.
We've been working on this project for a couple of years and we're finally able to talk about it. This is going to be the signature ride at the park. High thrill, but still be rideable. And it's going to set a lot of records. So this is going to be the only double launch coaster in Latin America, the fastest and longest launch coaster in Latin America. This is going to have the world's first double rollover top hat. The most important thing is that we were able to combine the best parts of layouts that we have there into this one and add additional tricks to it.
As we were watching the animation, I was like, this looks like one of the most fluid coaster layouts I've ever seen. Like everything just looked like it flowed together so beautifully. It looked like it's definitely going to be extreme. Like when you ride Phoenix, it's like, technically it's like a high thrill coaster, but it definitely could be ridden by pretty much anyone. And I imagine this will be a similar situation, but it looks like they dialed up the thrill level a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super, super stoked for this. There'll be a full analysis, like layout breakdown coming soon, but this is the ride that you're going to want to come here for to Vidanta World's BON. I already wanted to go to this park, but then when we saw this coaster, I was like, oh yeah, get me here like week one.
I know. It's like, you know, obviously like Vekoma is starting to really take off now, but we're seeing a lot of like family coasters. And as far as like the higher thrill ones, it's mainly been the tilt coasters, which I'm not complaining about.
Oh yeah.
But having done Phoenix and like Let Coaster and like doing some of like their like more traditional like layouts, I'm like, man, I want to see more of these because they're so good. They're so good. They're so smooth. And like, they have such like fun force changes throughout the ride and stuff. And like, I just think that they do thrill so well, you know, without like the super boomerang gimmick or the tilt coaster gimmick, just like a regular old either lift or launch layout. And they nail it. And I'm so excited to have one in North America.
And it looks like, again, they're really going to dress it up. You can see in this concept art what appears to be maybe some sort of animatronic as you're turning the corner to go to the launch. But that is the thing, is this is just concept art. We will have to wait and see how much of this actually comes to life. It seems like they are very dedicated to creating an immersive experience, but it will be interesting to see how it translates to real life, because we can see some actual shots, like footage of people experiencing what is already out there. But what is still to come, I think, is going to be much grander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you there, because like, you know, one of the biggest, I feel like, downfalls of Lost Island, like visually, is that it doesn't have many trees or anything.
Yeah.
And I imagine that like it's going to probably take some time to go from like bulldozed like dirt to having like lush greenery. So I imagine for the first bit it might look a little weird and like a little like naked. Yeah. But it'll get better. You know what I mean? And like, you know, even if it takes a little bit to like beautify as far as that goes, like I feel like I will go right away to ride, especially this Vekoma coaster. Like it literally looks like it could end up being like my favorite of their coasters just from looking at it. It's beautiful.
I think it definitely has the potential of becoming Mexico's best roller coaster.
Well, right now is what? Probably
Medusa. Yeah, maybe
Superman.
Maybe Superman. And I would say this has the potential of becoming Mexico's best theme park. Like it is a true theme park, which Mexico at the moment is really lacking. Yeah. So yeah, this I think is going to be a huge win. Start planning your trip to Puerto Vallarta. This place is like a 10-minute or less drive from the airport, so super accessible.
Yeah, and you know, even if like your scope of interest isn't necessarily just roller coasters, they're going to have like a full amazing water themed Cirque du Soleil show that you can't see anywhere else, where you're literally like in a 360 stage room, kind of think like Festival of the Lion King, but it's got an aquarium on all sides of you.
So
which
cool.
is just crazy. And it's a dinner show.
Yeah.
So like you like dine again, they have like so many different like interesting luxury experiences.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one to look out for. Have you ever seen Cirque du Soleil?
No, I
You know there's
haven't.
one at Disney Springs.
Is there really?
There is.
I
Yes.
didn't even know that.
Fun fact.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like that gets glossed over a lot, but
Yeah.
it's not quite the same. It's not like a fancy dinner theater. It's like just Cirque du Soleil, which is amazing in
I
and
think
of itself.
being surrounded by the aquarium will be just a little better.
Yeah, that'll make it very, very, very cool. And one other thing that they mentioned, which we don't have much to show for it, if anything at all, but it was said in passing that like something like Piraten and Batavia would be brought to this park. I don't know if that
Sure.
means like the storyline and everything. I'm guessing more of just like the style and like that level because it's gonna be Mach.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Mach is doing a couple rides here. So you have the Arthur roller coaster. They're doing something like Piraten and Batavia. And then I think they're also doing like a slow-moving boat ride. That one's going to be called Enchanted River. And then the ride like Piraten and Batavia is going to be called Enchanting Eternity. And it sounds very mysterious, but we don't know what will take place. I hope that it will be cool. I think it will.
I think it speaks to the demographic that they're expecting. That like mostly everything is in English. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that shows that they're like they keep saying luxury, like it's gonna be very like expensive. And I know like the US dollar goes very far in Mexico. So I'm
Right.
assuming they're imagining that there's gonna be a lot of Americans that visit.
They want all those
Probably.
people who are on their cruise, docking at Puerto Vallarta for the day to just go over to Vidanta World BON and then get back on their cruise ship. Like, that's the type of people that they're expecting. Like, either those or the people who are literally just coming to Puerto Vallarta for a week, you know?
Yeah, but I do hope that like the people of Mexico make their way over there to like that like actual citizens. Like I want
Sure.
them to have this experience because to have this in your home country is just amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I know that, like, it'd be a flight away still, but, like, Mexico City has, like, what, 8 million residents or something
people
like
will
that?
make their way there.
Yeah, they have just, there's so much potential.
Well, this
with
is probably going to create a lot of jobs over there as well. So I imagine there's going to be people that move there
Yeah.
to work on this. So I think that this is going to be really awesome. You can bet on it right now. We will be there as quickly as we can whenever it opens.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2026 is the date that you're going to want to keep in mind. If you can't wait, there are some attractions you can do now. The Cirque du Soleil show opens before the rest of the rides do. I think that's like a year from now, so like November 2025. But 2026 is the date to keep in mind. So yeah, let us know down in the comments below what you think of Vidanta World's BON, and if you agree with the points we brought up. And if you think there's anything we missed, be sure to let us know. And we'll see you next time here at Coaster Studios.